great week other than, maybe having to wait in line at the gas station a little bit. But, thank goodness we're not here to talk about gas and gas prices, but houses and helping people achieve their homeownership dreams. Probably the biggest con to that is that when you're talking to that agent, obviously the agent who owns the home wants to get the most money they can for the home they own. Um, so while that agent has to be fair and tell the consumer, the buyer, everything that they know about the property that could materially affect its condition, that agent still has one interest at heart, and that is to sell their home for the most money in the most favorable terms. They cannot pull the wool over your eyes per se and not tell you, if they know that the air conditioning's broken, they have to tell you that. Or if they know the roof is leaking, they would have to tell you that. But they certainly, if you told that agent, oh, I love your home, I love it, and I've seen all of these others, and this is the only one that's best for me, chances are you're not going to negotiate the best deal to your favor as a buyer. So agents have to disclose who they represent. Obviously, if they own their own home, they're representing themselves and not you, the buyer. But other than that, they do have to be transparent with what they know.
Right. And is this common? Do you see it mostly with like agents that actually own the home, like they live in, or is it more agents that are involved in investing real estate property, or what do you see
You,
out there?
you do see this. It's not uncommon. Even myself, I own a handful of homes, and I have sold those. I have sold those homes that I've owned over the years. I keep some as rental properties. So it's not uncommon to see an agent owner selling their own home. And, it could be their primary residence. It could be just a flip that they picked up over the years. The primary question that you as a consumer would want to ask is, uh, please provide me a property condition disclosure statement and tell me about any defects that are known.
And speaking of property disclosure, is there anything that should not be fixed before listing your house?
Oh, well, depends on the market. In today's market, where it is a seller's market and, sellers are selling their homes for more than they have them listed for, it's for a buyer to ask for a bunch of repairs is pretty detrimental to a buyer because most of the time the seller is going to say, you know what, if you don't want it, that's okay. Somebody else does. So we're seeing sellers make less repairs today than we were a year ago and 2 years ago. The seller has to disclose anything they know that is not functioning, but sellers are less likely to make repairs today in the current market. I am a big believer that when you get ready to put your house on the market, you should make it what I call showroom ready. You should make it to where it appeals to the most number of buyers with the least amount of defects on the property. Because I believe if you do that, you will get more money for the property when you sell it. And so if it's kind of like the if you had two Chevrolet Suburbans, one of them's dirty and one of them just had a new wash job and wax and was all shiny, and they both had the same mileage and they were both in the same condition other than the fact one was dirty and one was not. which one do you think is going to sell for more and have more interest in?
Right. Obviously, the dirty one. No, I'm just joking. Obviously, the clean one.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you like to ride around in the mud.
Right. No, but speaking of home improvements, what home improvements should be made and how do they add value to that showroom ready quality?
So I typically encourage people, if as you walk through your house, if you look at something and you say, you know, I wish that was newer, or I wish I had new flooring, or I wish the paint was updated. If you're thinking that as a homeowner, seller, you probably ought to go ahead and get it done. I encourage paint, at least painting one wall in the foyer, because fresh paint triggers the sense of smell. And I encourage the homeowner to put some bright, either towels or some sort of art piece or flowers in the home, so that it's got a bright and colorful feel to it. But repair wise, or update wise, the primary focus of most buyers is the kitchen, the master bathroom, and the living room. And of course, curb appeal. When you drive up, you don't want anything to distract you on curb appeal. So most of the time, the money is well spent on curb appeal, the kitchen, and then the main bathroom.
Right. And for those who are just joining, we are speaking with Lee Garland of the Garland Group eXp Realty. For more information, you go to leewillbuyit.com and the number is 601-983-1130. And you can drop your comments and questions below in the comment section about real estate. So for the next question, what is a listing strategy and does it help sell your home faster?
So listing strategies is basically a plan to get from point A to point B, and it's kind of like it's it's a goal, it's a map. So if you were going to travel from Jackson to, let's say, Nashville, you're going to plug it into your GPS, or in the old days, back when I was first before GPSs, we'd pick up a map from a service station or even the convenience store, and we would map out our route to make sure that we got to that location. So a listing strategy is a plan of action to help you get the best results on selling your home. My listing strategies on a property is to come out, take a look at the property, advise the homeowner what they need to do to make it showroom ready. And then I am going to bring in, my strategy is to bring in a stager if necessary to to make the property colorful and clutter free. Then I'm going to bring out a professional photographer who's not only going to take still photos, they're going to take a 3D virtual tour. They're going to take aerial shots with a drone, and we're going to create a video of the property. The strategy then is to push that video out to tens and if not hundreds of thousands of people online through miscellaneous sites, to talk about that property on social media, to send it out to other agents, putting it in MLS. So that is just the beginning stages of our strategy to get a property sold. So if an agent comes to you and they do not have a strategy to sell that home, to sell your home, I would just
Right.
escort them out the door.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about the Garland Group. You have all your bases covered, everything from the MLS to staging to taking photos to hitting social media, especially this day and age, is really important to selling your home. We're going to take a question from the comment section. Oh, the question disappeared, but it was a question. How's it important to, is it important to update the foundation of the home before listing it?
So the question That's a good question because the foundation of a home is important. It's obviously that foundation. If you're a buyer, you're probably not going to want to walk into a property that's all cracked up or that the structure is not safe. And if you did buy that home, you're going to want it at a deep discounted price. So normally, if a property needs foundation work, I would encourage it to be done on the front end.
Right. Okay. Well, yes. Hopefully, the question's back up. I think my computer had a glitch, but yes, Mary Ann Martin. I hopefully that answered your question. And so, speaking of updates on homes, like what are people looking for homes these days? I've heard about like a smart home, or is that what buyers are looking for? Is it something to invest in? What is a smart home?
So smart homes are homes that are basically homes that are have the ability to be automated. In other words, you can say, I have to be careful because I looking around to see if I had a Google or Alexa in my office. I couldn't remember. But hey Google, order me some groceries, right? Smart homes have the automation features where they have upgraded wiring or wireless internet capabilities, so that you can take, like my personal house. I mean, used to we had the clapper back in the day where you clapped your hands and turned your lights off. Today I have Google, and so when I lay down in my bed, I just say, "Hey Google, turn the lights off." And what happens? All the lights go off in the house. And so that is what a smart home is about. Smart homes are automated and energy efficient. And everything from lights to ordering groceries to adjusting the thermostat for the temperature in the house to, um, even opening your garage door, before you even walk out to your car if you need to. Smart homes are pretty cool. A lot of buyers are looking for those nowadays, especially buyers who work from home that need high-speed internet capabilities.
Right. So is it worth, so I guess would it be worth investing in to sell your home? Or I mean the way the market is now. I don't know, but
You, I would not encourage a seller to do a full smart home conversion in order to sell their house. I do encourage sellers all the time to upgrade their light bulbs to LEDs. I know they cost a little more, but the light that comes off from an LED is a much more pure and vibrant light than those old yellow, dingy, incandescent bulbs that are out there. So that does help the home show better, and it also helps in the energy efficiency. We're finding that buyers aren't concerned as much about energy efficiency as they are about its overall appeal.
right. And so we've talked about, making your home ready for showroom, what you need to look for before putting it on the market. But what do appraisers look for when inspecting the home?
Great question. Great question. Because a lot of people are worried that when the appraiser comes in, if their home's not clean, that that's going to affect the appraisal, or they're worried that the appraiser and a lot of people think that the appraiser is concerned about the roof. They think that, well, I've got a new roof, so my home is worth more. Well, the appraiser is just looking to see if it has a functioning roof. They don't really care if it's new or 15 years old. All they care about is it functioning, and does it have life left in it, more than 2 years of life left in it. And that roof has the same value as a brand new roof. So, and the appraisers are looking at, what are the countertops made of? They do take into consideration if home A has Formica countertops and home B has granite countertops. Well, they're going to give a little more value for that, provided that that is normal for the neighborhood.
Hmm.
If it is not normal for the neighborhood, then that upgrade may not have much value in an appraiser's eyes. They're going to come in, measure the square footage of the property. They're going to look at how many bedrooms it has, how many bathrooms, um, and, is it central heating and cooling? What type of appliances? And they're going to take all that into consideration. They're comparing apples to apples. And if you have a house that has Formica and linoleum floors and it has window units, that's not a comparable, and it's not going to appraise the same as a house with granite, hardwood floors, and central air and heat.
Right. So would you say like before making those upgrades, make sure you do a little bit of research of the comps in the area because you don't want to have the only smart house on the block, but
Right, right.
it
Yeah.
might not go for as much.
It's kind of the old saying, you don't want to have the biggest house in the neighborhood. And it's better to have the smallest house in the neighborhood than the biggest house. So you don't want to have the biggest house in the neighborhood, and you probably don't want to have the most decked out house in the neighborhood either, because you're not going to get dollar for dollar value for that.
Right. And are there any best practices? Because I know for some people, they have to sell their home before they buy a home. So are there any suggestions on best practices for those that are in that situation?
In today's market, this is a very tough call because a lot of sellers in today's market will not take contingencies upon your home selling. So basically, buyer sellers are being forced to put their home on the market, sell them, and temporarily move into another place to be able to compete on the home they want to buy. The so there are some, you can go to the bank and take out a bridge loan if you qualify, so that you can have a loan on your existing home and do a bridge loan on the home that you're buying, so that you can do that. There are some programs out there. We offer a program of convenience where the Garland group, myself, will buy your home. You can list it with us, and I'll give you an offer within 72 hours. And I'm willing to buy it outright. Now, you're not going to get top retail dollar for it that way, but you will have convenience so that you can turn around and buy the home that you're looking at somewhere else on the market. I'm even willing to do a temporary rent back in that situation where I could buy your home, you could stay in it until you find the home you want to move to.
Right.
Again, you're not going to get top dollar that way. I want to be very transparent on that. But if that's what helps you get to that next home, then that is certainly an option.
Right. Sometimes it's easier to kind of pay for convenience in a sense. And so, for those who are just joining, for more information on that, go to leewillbuyit.com, and the number is 601-983-1130. And please drop any questions and comments down below. All right. So, what does it mean when a listing says price to maximum buyer's margins?
Price to maximum buyer's margins.
I've never heard that before. So,
That I've never heard that either. So I I don't think that I've ever truly been stumped on Ask the Expert, and today may be the day. Um,
My apologies. When I saw that question, I was like, well, maybe this person that sent it in knows something that I don't. I'm not a real estate expert. I know I've done plenty of these with you. I feel a little educated, but well, if you don't know it, neither do I.
price to maximize buyer's margin.
Price to maximize buyers' margins. I don't even, why? I don't know. Well, on to the next question.
Yeah, yeah.
We tried.
I'm not perfect.
Sorry to whoever sent in that question. We'll do another one. So hopefully, maybe it wasn't, maybe there was a typo or something. But we're going to move on to the next question. Can you raise the selling price of your home after you have placed it on the market?
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen that done numerous times over the years. Builders are are famous for doing that. They'll put a home on the market, and let's just say they put it on the market for $200,000. And as long as, and then next thing you know, they say that you see they increase the price to 215. That is perfectly acceptable. Now, if it's on the market for $200,000 and you come in and you offer $200,000 for the house with no conditions, then you have met their request. And at that point, it would not be ethical to change the price. But if they change the price before your offer and or your offer is not without condition, seller has every right to change it.
All right. And then I think we've kind of touched on this, but just over talking about improvements. But I know you said it's a seller market, so should one fix up their home or leave it as is?
At this point, I'm, I always tell sellers to put their best foot forward, but in true, the way the market is today, you may not, you could actually put your home on the market just as it sits, and it's still probably going to sell.
Mhm.
The question is, will it sell for top dollar or not?
Right, right. So if you want to get, well, from what it sounds like on the market, things are kind of overselling a little bit than what they're even appraising for. So
Yeah.
I guess that's a call for them to make. But also, what is a risk adjusted
A risk adjusted return.
return, return? Is this another question that shouldn't be a question?
So I can take a risk adjusted return. It sounds like maybe that's an investment type question on what somebody's buying. What is your risk that you're taking on buying an investment property? But that's not common language. That's not something that happens with normal home buying and selling. It sounds more like an investor term, and I have a feeling it's a slang term
Mhm.
that may be used within certain investor circles.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll take a question from the comment section. Sheila Denise Scotts wants to know, with the rate of housing changes, how does the price of real estate in Mississippi compare to out-of-state prices? She said she noticed that they are really high in pricing. And I don't know when she says they, Mississippi, or they in out of state.
I will tell you that housing prices across the board throughout the United States. I actually just came back from speaking at a conference in Phoenix, and housing and meeting with one of the top analysts in the United States on the market. And house prices pretty much across the entire United States are way above what they normally are. Now, you have to keep in mind, we've got inflation going on. We've got some double digit inflation happening out there. If you don't believe that, just go to the grocery store and buy a pack of bacon. It's like $10 for a pack of bacon now.
Mhm.
You're seeing the gas prices go up, and just all types of different things go up. So we have inflation, which is good. Inflation's not bad, but the price of wood, lumber that you're using to build houses, all of that's going up. So Mississippi is going up with the rest of the nation, and also with a shortage of houses,
Mm.
that drives the price up. Mississippi's no different. I mean, I've got friends in Missouri that are telling me that people are paying 10, 15, 20, $25,000 more for a house than it's listed for. Same thing in Mississippi. I've got friends in California telling me they're paying 150, $200,000 more than
Right.
they're listed for. So that's a little bit different market, but for the most part, every state out there, homes are selling for the average price per home is going up, and people are paying more than they're listed for.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a rising trend all across the U.S. With homes being listed more. Let's see. Oh, another question from Sheila. Also, with multiple acres of land, is it a risk to put multiple homes on the property? Uh-oh, it went away. Okay. Also, with multiple acres of land, is it a risk to put multiple homes on the property? How do you feel about container homes? How many multifamily homes are available?
So container homes is not something that we've seen in any type of scale in Mississippi. I love the idea of container homes and would love to see possibly a development of those. And so Sheila, if you have some land that you're thinking about doing this on, I'd love to talk with you individually because that might be something I'd be willing to invest in personally with you or other somebody else that's thinking about it. But subdividing acreage and building homes on it is a great idea. That's where you're going to maximize the price per acre of your property. And now you have to be careful to make sure you're within the zoning ordinances of the city or town, county that you're in. There may be square foot limitations. There may be limitations to say no modular type property or homes can be placed there. But if you've got something out there that you want to explore, I'd love to talk with you individually about that offline to see where we can go with it.
Right, Sheila. Hopefully that answers your question. And contact Lee at leewillbuyit.com and the number 601-983-1130. Before we head out, Lee, is there anything you would like the viewers to know?
You know, it's still a very interesting market out here. Rates are incredibly low. I will say this: people are saying, "Well, I'm going to wait till the market adjusts before I buy." This is let me get. I want this. I'm going to take a minute of education here. If you look at the last 50 years, the average interest rate is 7.3%. That's over the last 50 years. Today, interest rates are hovering around 3% on a 30-year mortgage. So if interest rates for the last 50 years have averaged 7.3 and they're 3% today, even and let's just say rates went up to 2% to 5%, that would affect your buying power by $45,000. And rates are going to go up. They have to. So if you're looking at a home today that's $200,000 and you financed it at 3% on a 30-year note, and the rates went up 2% more to 5%, and you bought that, tried to buy that same home, you'd only be able to finance $155,000 to keep the same payment. So I know the market makes people nervous, but I certainly wouldn't wait to buy a home because the rates are so good today. And the difference between a $200,000 house and a $155,000 house, it's the same payment between a 3% and a 5% rate. So I would go with the $200,000 house and keep my payments the same.
Yeah, so it's a perfect time. Interest rates are low, so if you don't have to wait, don't wait. We did have some love for you, Lee. Kathleen Hendrickson, Lee, you know real estate. So Lee does know real estate. Lee of Garland Group Realty, EXP Realty. Thank you for watching Ask the Experts. For more information, go to leewillbuyit.com. And again, number is 601-983-1130. This has been Martina Barksdale with WLBT 3 on your side.